something called as text block. Okay, simplified text preprocessing. So we have something called as text block. Now the features are here. Okay, in the features, what we can do is we can extract noun. We have a part of speech tagging that was there in LTK also. We have sentiment analysis. We have classification. We have language translation. Okay, this is a feature that I like. In a language translation, what it could, so suppose something you're writing in English, it will translate it into English, Hindi. Okay, or whichever language you mention, it will translate into that particular language. Okay, so for example, the language, suppose hi, and if you want to translate it into Hindi, it will translate into Hindi. It will if you want to translate into France, it will translate into France and stuff like that. Okay, then tokenization is same. Then word and phrase frequency, we have we have something called as parsing. We have something called as n-gram. We have something called word inflection. Word inflection is nothing but, suppose you want to pluralize or singularize the word, you can do that with the help of word inflection. Then this is what I was saying. Okay, in the, I think it was Sanjay or someone else, if the spelling is wrong, what to do. Okay, so we have something called as spelling correction. Suppose you give this, if you give the text, so if some spelling is wrong, it will try to give the correct spelling of the particular sentence. Okay, so we'll see this how to do this. So spelling correction, and there are new models and stuff like that. So this I will teach you that which all new models are there. That is helping us to do language translation, spelling correction, and part of speech tagging, sentiment analysis, stuff like that. And this is nothing but a database. Okay, this is nothing but WordNet integration. This is same what you have seen in the NLTK. Okay, if you notice that on the top, I have this you can see. This is nothing but in the same thing they are using in text block also. Okay, so these are the features that are there in text block. So let's try to see this with the help of a coding. Okay, so everyone, just in the same Jupyter notebook, just try to install text block. And how to install text block is given here. So first you have to do is pip install text block. So everyone just do this, and after doing this, just type python -m text block dot download underscore corpora. You have to do these two things. So let me open my this, and then text block. The first thing you have to install text block. So pip install text block, and if I run this, so for me it will show requirement already satisfied. For you it will get downloaded, and then you have to download the corpora basically. So copy this, paste this, put the exclamation mark, and run this. Okay, so it will get downloaded, and at the end it will show something much like finished. So these two things are done for everyone. So if this is done, then what we can do is we can directly work with the text block library now. So to work with the text block library, the first thing what you have to do is you have to call the library. So how to call the library? This is the method. So from text block, so underscore is not there, from text block, import text block. Okay, so this is the library that you have to call, and the only thing what you have to do is very simple. Just suppose you have to just do word equal to text block, and inside this text block you have to pass the data. That's it. So I will pass the data. So if you've done this, the only thing you have to do is, suppose this is nothing but, suppose I'm giving text here. Okay, for now. So let's see how to do tokenization here. So first we will see word tokenization. Okay, so do a word tokenization. What you have to do is you have to just read this text equal to text block, and inside that text block just pass the data. The only thing you have to do is you have to do text dot word. That's it. If you do text dot words, all the word will be in the form of word list. Same if you want to do a sentence tokenization. So sentence, the only thing you have to do is in place of word, you have to do sentences. That's it. You have to type sentences. So sentences, and everything will be in the form of a sentences. So this is a first sentence, this is a second sentence, this is a third sentence, this is a fourth sentence, and stuff like this. So these two things are clear to everyone. So any doubts still there? It's clear? Or anyone has a doubt?
It's clear.
It's clear? Okay, great. So this is how you do in a textual library. Okay, in textual library, it's much simpler syntax as compared to NLTK. Just you have to type text dot words, all the word tokenization will be there. You have to type sentence dot text dot sentences, all the tokenization will be there. Okay. So if these two things are clear, then we have something called as noun phrase extraction. Okay, the first point that we have talked in the PPT. So let's try to see that. So what I will do
Afsan,
is,
data type will be list only. It will be same.
see the data type here. No, it's different. Okay, not be list. It will be something different. So if I see the type here, okay, see it is text block dot block dot word list. It will be okay. It will not be list that you have studied in Python. It will be something called word list. So basically, they have given their own data type here. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So the data type will be not a list, but it's a word list here. Same with this also sentences. If you notice that it's sentence and inside that a sentence is given. Okay. So if you want to extract the sentences, that's the simple thing what you do is for I in text dot sentences print I. So you will get all the sentences. Is clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you extract the sentences from here. Okay.
Afsan, I tried the type for sentences, it is showing as list, but for word, it is text blob.
Yeah, because for word it is text block, for sentence it is list. You're saying no? Yeah, see, can you see here? The output C, it is a form of a
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
But in this, you can see it is form of word list. So in word list, it is a list of sentences. Can you notice this?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
So that's why it's showing like that. Okay. So this will show in a list form of a list only, because if you see the output, it is a form of list only. That's why. That's clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's clear.
So the data type also for all the libraries will be different. Okay. For LTK, the output for word will be in the form of a list, but in text block, it is form of word list. Okay, so basically it depends on people are creating the library, what kind of return type they want to give. So yes, they're given something like this. So we have something called as noun phrase extraction. Let's see this. What is this? So noun phrase is saying nothing but, suppose you have a text, so it will extract all the noun for me. Okay, so for example, if I give noun phrases. Okay, so these are all the noun phrase that is extracted for me. India, Hindi, Bharat, India, Asia, seventh largest country, populous, bounded, etc., etc. So these all the nouns that are extracted from me. So this is nothing but noun phrase extraction. So this is the basic library they have given. So you can perform n number means one of the use case with this also, where in a documentation extract all the nouns. So you can basically use this particular function to extract all the nouns from a particular library, particular document. So everyone getting the answer for this noun phrases?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So something we've called as so okay. So suppose I was said suppose I take it as like for example, okay, and I want to so word equal to text block and just pass a here. Let's see what is word dot words. Okay, so this is like okay. So what you can do is you can so this is at which location? So you can do one dot singularize. So it is in the singular form. So what will do? We'll do pluralize. Okay, so pluralize, and if you this, you'll get a okay. Sorry, one is not there. Okay, so my bad.
0.
Yeah. So can you see when you do give like the plural form of life is like so I'm getting the answer. Get I'm getting an import error while importing text blob. Shubham. Okay. Okay, Shubham. So let's go one step by step. So have you installed this pip install text blob? So from text blob, it's capital T, capital B after that. The first thing is all small. The second thing is capital T and capital B. Just check this, Shubham. This is correct for you. Yeah. Okay. That will work. Okay. So suppose if this is likes and you have to do singular for this. So singularize. I'll get the singular form of this. Is clear to everyone? These two steps are clear to everyone. So this is for singularize, and if you want to the only thing you have to do is plural. That's it. Okay. So it's clear to everyone? Yes or no? So noun phrase extraction, we have seen how to do noun phrase extraction. We have seen how to do word inflection. That is nothing but plural form and the singular form. And we have done tokenization. So these 3 points are clear to everyone, which I have marked here. First one is the noun phrase extraction. Second one is the tokenization, and the third one is the word inflection. Only the highlighted part.
No.
Is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to see the other example also now. Let's see the stemming, how to do stemming and lemmatization here. Okay, so what I can type. So the first one is stemming. Let's go with the stemming. How to do stemming in this? Okay, so simple. What you have to do is you have to do from text blob import word. Okay, and just you have to pass equal to word, and you have to pass the word here. Okay, so for example, seeing. And if I do q dot stem, it will give me the stem form of seeing, which is not giving. Okay, text blob import word. Okay, it's capital W. Okay, so you can type any word. So if I type hobbies, it's, it's giving hobby to me. Okay, this is how you do stemming here, and how to do lemmatization. Just use lemmatize and just pass the word inside this. So if I give hobbies, okay, it's there. And one more thing, you have to pass, and you have to pass the POS. Okay, you have to pass the POS. POS is nothing but part of speech. In NLTK also, if you notice that we have one more parameter called POS. So here also we have to pass POS. And POS will be what? It will be verb. If I run this, it's giving hobbies. So this is stemming and this is lemmatization. This is lemma and this is stem. So how to do stemming and lemmatization is clear to everyone in a library called as text block. Yes or no?
Yes, Afshan.
Yes, Afsan.
So all the participants, please write yes or no if everything is clear in the text block library, that how to do noun phrase extraction, word sentence tokenization, plural, singular, and everything. So that, okay, great. So you understood very great. Now, these are the additional features in a library called as text block. Okay, so which I like the most. So the first thing is definition. Okay, so actually you can create a dictionary out of this. Okay, dictionary in the sense, if you type a word, you will get all the dictionary meaning of that particular word. For example, what I'm trying to say is, if I do word here, okay, and if I pass a word called as root, okay, the shortcut is shift tab. So in the suppose this is a function that is lemmatized, just put a cursor here and just push shift tab. If you do shift tab, you will get a this the definition of the function. Yes. Okay, and the simple thing what you do is you have to type set definition. Okay, and when you run this, you will get the definition of the word root. Okay, so you can actually create a dictionary out of this. Okay, you can create a dictionary application out of this, where someone writes a word, so you can give the meaning of that particular word. Okay, so I give line, so I will get a meaning of a line, a formation of people or things on beside one another, a mark that is long relative to its width, and stuff like this. So all the definition of lines is given here. Okay, so you can type any word here and you will get the meaning of this. So if I type some word called as text, for example, the word of something written, the passage from the Bible that is used as a subject of a sermon and stuff like this. Okay, so this is the feature that you can use to build one of the application called as dictionary. Dictionary application you can create with the help of this. So this is clear to everyone. Definition is clear to everyone. This particular function.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how you get a definition of a word. Then the next thing what you can do is, this is also my favorite, spelling correction. Okay, so what happens is, suppose someone types a wrong text. For example, if I take a equal to text block, I want to attend plus, since if I'm writing a not words, okay, this spelling of classing is wrong, as you can see. So what I can do is I can do a dot correct. So what it will do is, okay, a dot correct and the bracket. I want to attend classes. See, it's giving the correct form now. Okay, so this is nothing but a spelling correction that you can use. Okay, so this is what Grammarly and everything is behind the scene. So if this is a sentence, I want to attend classes, and this is a wrong thing what I've written. So if you do a dot correct, so I want to attend classes. So it will give the correct form of that particular word. So if I type ATEND, let's see if I'm getting the correct form. So I want to 10 classes. Okay, so this is not working. So if I remove this, I want to acted classes. Okay, so we have an issue with this also. The basic, so the correction. So why this is happening, I will tell you. Okay, so why this is happening, I will tell you. But this correction is clear to everyone. This correct function is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now why that is happening?
Basically corrects the spelling but not understands the sentence and its meaning, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. You can see that. Okay. So basically, it takes one word and then it try to correct the spelling. Okay, doesn't take the meaning. For example, what is happening behind the scene? First, I is going in the function, and if I is correct, okay, then I'm returning I. Then one goes, then two goes, then attend goes, then classing goes. Okay, so it doesn't care about the meaning of the sentence. It just take the word and try to give the correct form of that. Okay. Now, why that is happening, I will tell you now. So this is spelling correction, and we have something called a spelling check. Okay. So in a spelling check, what you can do is you can put the spelling. So in Word, you can put, for example, ATTEND. Okay, and the next thing what you can do is you can do G dot spell check. Okay, so for example, now when I remove this T, so tend, attend, and amend. So which is the higher probability now here? Which has the highest probability? 0.62, right? So that's why it is trying to give me 10 for this particular thing. Whereas the attend thing has a probability of 0.34. So the which one is the has the highest probability is trying to show me that. So this is what you can see in a Google keyboard. Okay, when you type a wrong word, you get a three options, right? 1, 2, 3 on the Google keyboard. This is what you get. So basically, when you type a wrong word, all the three possibilities with the probability you get here. So probability of 10 is high. That's why I got 10 here. So if I see, if I remove this, probability of what is high, 10 is high. So I'm getting 10 here. So if I go and remove n, I'm getting acted. Okay, so let's see if I remove n from here. So what is the probability? So which has a high probability? Can you tell me?
Acted is having more
Acted.
Acted has a highest probability, right? So that's why I'm getting acted in place of this. Now it's clear why you're getting this particular thing. And attend again has a second probability. That's why the first probability is shown to you in this particular thing.
So basically how this probability is calculated?
Basically, they have in this corpora that you have downloaded. You can see this corpora that you, where is the corpora now? Okay, in this corpora you have downloaded. See, everything is stored in form of this. So it's a database, you can say, or everything is stored in database. So it's try to check which are the closest value. That's it.
Okay.
So that's why everything you have to download the data. You have to download a database with this. Okay, so that's why the database is very heavy. That's why you have to download database, and everything is there in the database. So this is nothing but a spell check. Okay, this is what you can see in your Google keyboard also. When you type a wrong spelling mistake, and when you click on that, you get three options, right? So this is the three options that you get here. Top three options that you want it acted, you want to attend or pated. This you can see in your Windows WordPad also, not WordPad. Okay, that what we call Notepad and stuff like that. If you write a wrong spelling, it gets highlighted, right? And when you click on that, you will get three options for the correct spelling. So this is what they do behind the scene. So spelling correction and spelling check function is clear to everyone.
Yes, just one clarification. I mean, what if I tried one scenario actually? So in classes, by mistake, like instead of INS, I have just written multiple S, like if you remember, and I still get the, I mean,
So CLASS,
multiple this thing, and still it is like giving me the correct, I mean,
like this.
multiple. No, you just keep it E and replace INS with triple S. Just keep that there. Yeah,
Like this you're saying.
yeah,
So like this you're saying, okay?
yes, right.
Yeah. So what's the query here?
Okay. Oh no no. Okay, so, sorry. It's right. It's right. I was getting a different input, but okay, it's fine now.
Okay. So yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
So this is, so you can use text log library to create much more applications now. Okay. So you can do specific spelling correction. You can create a dictionary. You can do spelling correction. You can do a spell check, and you can give the top three probabilities that what you want to type. So you can create much more applications now with the help of the library called as text block. So till here, everything is clear
Can
to
I
everyone.
can I share my screen? I have one doubt. Sorry, actually, I'm not getting the right output. Spelling
Okay.
correction. See my screen, right?
Okay.
So this is what I'm trying. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what.
Okay. Just copy that class, the classes, what you have written, and paste in the down thing word. Let's see what is the probability that we are getting.
Sorry.
Uh, the classes you have written, right? That
Yeah.
copy that particular word,
Okay.
and in the spell check, go down and paste
Okay.
there and paste there. Yeah. So let's see if the word is there or not for that particular thing. So word is not there. See. So that's why it's not trying to give me the correct form.
Okay. It's related with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
If that thing is not present, so you will get the probability as 0.0. Okay, and this means that that word is not identified. So that's why it will not give you the correct meaning, correct spelling for that. That's
Okay.
clear.
Got it. Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
So till here it's clear to everyone. Any doubts in the function or in some kind of library or in a function calling or answer? You are not getting the answer. You can ask me.
So, Afshan, I have a question here. So, all this text block and NLP which you learned today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we will be applying everything while we will be doing a NLP project.
Sorry, can you repeat
So,
this
all
again?
the text block and spelling checks and everything which you have learned about NLP today
Mm-hmm.
and yesterday, we will be applying all this when we will be creating a project on NLP.
See, the project that I'm taking, that is the sentiment analysis and stuff like that. In
Yes.
that, in that, this is not required. Okay, so what is required is the stop word and stuff like that. But the spelling correction, spelling check, these are the extra features that you can use your own application in your own application. Okay, so this is not required to do in a project. Okay, but
Okay.
suppose in a resume you're trying to extract something. Okay, so many people can make a mistake, right? So first what
Yes.
you can do is you can take a text in a resume and you can pass through the spelling correction, and then you can apply that so that you will get a better model prediction. So it
Okay.
depends on use case to use case. What I'm
Sure.
trying to say is,
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, let's try to cover the last topic for today, and that is something called as translation. Okay. So the first thing what you have to do is you have to import the libraries. So from text block import text block. Okay, then what we have to do is after importing this, okay, from text block, okay, I think is capital B.
spelling is doing import
Ah.
text. Import text block spelling wrong.
So the text block is TEXT. Okay, T is not there. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so from text block, import text block, then we were working on a translation part, right? So what we have to do is take a variable called as block, for example, and pass a text block class. Inside this text block class, just pass something. Okay, so I'm passing the last phrase that I've taken as, in the last class. That is something is better than nothing. Okay, and the simple command to translate is blob dot translate and we have to write a language that in which language we have to translate. Okay, so hi is a language that will translate my particular thing or my particular. Okay, then what we do is let's try to convert this something is better than nothing to a Chinese language. Okay, to a Chinese language. Let's see how it looks like. So obviously that we will not know that what is that particular thing, but still we can try. So CN. So if I run this, this is the Chinese translation of something is better than nothing. Okay. So like this, we can do n number of translation based on the language that is supported. Okay. So we have some language that is supported, and that only we can do the translation. Now let's try to do the other way around. Let's try to put this Chinese text in place of this. Let's try to convert this to Hindi first, and the same thing we convert to English. Let's see that what is the difference if everything is working fine or not. So if I run this, so the translation that we're getting for this particular Chinese sentence is kuch nahi se kuch bala. So of course the translation will be same because we have converted the same thing into a translation. Okay, into a Chinese translation and so on. And for the English, something is better than nothing. So this translation part is working for everyone now. Just try and tell me. So now we have a one more function called as detect languages. Detect language. What this language detect language does is it will tell you that which kind of language it is. Okay. So for example, let's do d equal to in the text block, just pass the message that is text block. Okay, and inside this, just pass. So what I will do is just for a demo, I will pass the Chinese word, Chinese thing. Okay, then I will this is a function called as detect language. So if I do d dot detect language, so this is basically will detect the language that which language it is. Okay, so detect language, and if I run this, it will show that okay, it is ZH slash CN means Chinese. Okay, so if we do the same thing in English, so let's try to see. So this is the English language, and the last thing what we'll do is we'll try to see this in Hindi also. So this is a Hindi text, and this is HI. So these two functions are clear to everyone, that the translate and the detect language one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically these are so these are libraries that is using Google translation. Okay. So basically if you go to Google translation, so this is what they are using behind the scene. The same thing they are using behind the scenes also. Okay. So if you do some text, you do a translation to some particular text. So the same API, the same thing is used by this text block also. Okay. So this is basically the Google API. Okay. Then so text blob are like Python strings. Why I'm saying this? Because if you convert something into text block, so for example, I'm converting this into a text block. I'm just erasing this. Okay. Now this D will work as a Python string. Okay. So you can use the Python substring syntaxes. Okay. So basically, if I elaborate this, you can use Python substring syntaxes. Okay, so what this mean is, so you can do the indexing, you can do the slicing, and you can perform the method like upper, find, and stuff like that with the help of this D also. Okay, so suppose, can anyone tell me if I want to uh, get a value from, I want to get the index from 0 to 10. So what I have to type for the string?
0-10 and not hyphen, that double dot.
Yeah, so
0 to 11.
0 to 11, so it will give basically from 0 to 10. Okay, because remember the last one is 11 minus 1, so 10. So if I run this is what I'm getting, something space I. So this text block will work as a same as a Python string. This means that the function that you can use in Python string you can use here also. Okay, so in Python string, what is the function to convert a particular thing into uppercase, a particular string into uppercase?
Not upper.
Not upper. Okay, so
Dot
same thing.
capitalize.
No, capitalize will so okay, so cd does capitalize. Okay, so capitalize will, what it does is A, B, C, D. And if you do a dot capitalize, okay, so this will capital only the first letter of each word. Okay, and the uppercase is it will convert everything into uppercase. So there's a difference between capitalize and uppercase. Okay, so we have something called as upper, and if I run this, everything will be converted into a uppercase. Okay, in Python string, if I want to find that at which index this dan is present, so what is the function for that?
I did not get that.
Find.
So my question was that the question is that at which index this word dan is present, THAN, dan.
Okay.
Okay, so in Python, does anyone know the function?
Find function.
Yeah, find function. Okay, so the same function we can apply here, find, and just put the word that you want to find. Okay, so then, so the word is 20. Okay, so this will give you the starting position of T. Okay, so this will give you the starting position of T. So if you count this, so let's extract this. So if I do D dot, I will go from 20 to 25. Okay, so the then was extracted. So basically I go from 20 to 24. So then was extracted. So this gives D dot find will give you the starting index of the particular word. Okay, so you can make a comparison also. The same thing what we can do in string, you can do here also. So for example, I have something called as a blob equal to text blob, and inside this I am passing apple, and the same thing I am taking this as B, and I am passing Samsung, for example. Now if I want to check that which string is bigger, so simply this operator I will use, that is a blob is less than s blob. So can anyone tell me what will be the output for this?
True. It will be coming as true or
True. So output will be either true or false because I'm using this operator, but the answer will be true because Apple is smaller than Samsung. The length of the string of Apple is smaller than Samsung, so answer will be true. Okay, so S blob is not defined, so we see this is B blob. Okay, the answer will be true. Same, we can use the equal to operator to check whether that particular thing is Apple or not. So the answer will be true here again. So, some of the function of Python strings can be done here. And one more thing is you can concatenate also. You can concatenate the strings. So what I mean to say is you can do a blob plus a and d, and you can do something like this. And this will also give you the answer at Apple and Samsung. So you can concatenate the string also. So this here this is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now the small so basically this is question to everyone. So what I will do is basically I will paste one text in the chat. Okay, I will paste the text in the chat. So everyone just download that particular text. Download the and copy paste in the Jupyter notebook, and we will do a basic text summarization. Okay, basic. Okay, I'm not telling the advanced one, but the basic one. Text summarization. So basically, the coding will be done by you. Okay, the coding will be done by you. It's very easy. So basically, what you have to do is, so this is a text that I have pasted. Okay, so you have to take this text and you have to extract only the noun phrases. Okay, once the so I will write the step what you have to do. So everyone has to code here. Okay, let's see that you have practiced or not. So step one is uh, extract only the noun phrases. Okay, then the step two is lematize the word. So lematize the extracted word. And try to give me the words that is generated. Okay, so step three, uh, print the words. So everyone, this you have to do. Okay, this you have to do. Okay, so just give me the answer. Just give me the proper coding of this so that the final output should be the noun phrases with the and the word should be lemmatized. Okay, so I'm waiting. I'm opening a chat bot. Sorry, not a chat bot, chat. Okay, and just try to give me the answer for this. So the question is clear to everyone.
Afshan, you are not audible.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, what I will do is I will just try to explain you what is this, what I have done here. So basically, what I have done here is, okay, I have taken a empty list. I have converted everything into a text block, that is text three. So text is nothing but the variable that I have taken here. Okay, so text is a variable that I have taken here. Then the simple thing what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to generate a tags. Okay, so this tag will be in a form of a tuple. So basically the first thing is a word and the second thing is a tag. So I'm extracting only those word which has a tag and NP. Okay, and that if that word is extracted, the only thing what I'm doing is I'm trying to pass that into this noun. Okay, I'm appending that into a list called naming noun. Before appending, I'm just lemmatizing the word. Okay, I'm lemmatizing the word. So just the next step what I'm doing is now everything is stored in noun. So I'm just printing that word one by one using a for loop. That's it. Okay, this is what I'm doing. So the approach can be in a number of ways. This is one of the approach so that in a simplified way so that I can explain you what I'm doing here. So if I run this is a text what you're getting. Okay, so this text will summarize you that what is happening here. Okay, so what is happening in the whole text, this will be summarized. Okay, so for example, you can see that okay, this particular text 3 talks about the election commission. It talks about the BJP and the Himanta Vishwa, some leader, and it's about Assam, and some Thursday the election will happen on Thursday. So basic summarization can be done here. Okay, so this is the first step to summarization, we can say, although this is not an intuitive one, but a first step to summarization. So this code and the concept is clear to everyone. But what I'm trying to do here.
Yes.
Okay.
Afshan, could you please paste this in the chat so that like have it for reference?
This code you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so I've pasted in the chat. Okay. Then next what we'll do is let's start building the text classification system. Okay, so so basically this is the function I'm directly using. Okay, although you will learn from the scratch everything after completing the library that how text classification is done. But the libraries that we have something called as Spacey or TextBlob or Stanza or Stanford NLP. Everyone has their function to do a text classification. Okay, so in future, whenever you are doing a text classification, please don't go and start building from scratch. Use this particular library to do the text classification. Okay, so let's start building the text classification system. So can you even tell me first what do you mean by text classification? Anyone? What do you mean by text classification?
It kind of segregating the text. Maybe categorically you have to divide the text. So in e-commerce world, maybe we tag it to particular season sale or that kind of thing.
Yeah. So basically, text classification is nothing but you're classifying a particular text. For example, in a spam classifier, what are the two categories that are possible in spam classifier? What can be the target variable that we have to classify?
Spam and not spam.
Spam and not spam. Okay, so spam and not spam. Then for a sentiment analysis, we can have that it is a positive sentiment or the negative sentiment. Okay, so basically what you have learned in machine learning, the same thing is applied here also. The only difference is, can anyone tell me the difference? So the concept is same. Okay, so you have a row, you have an independent variable, you have a dependent variable, and you have to apply some kind of logistic regression or decision tree or some classification algorithm, and basically you will get the accuracy. Everything is same. Can you tell me what is the difference between text classification and the normal classification that you have learned in machine learning?
Here we have to do some pre-processing
Okay,
specific to
so in machine learning, ML that you have learned till now in the other classes, the data is already in the numerical form, right? The data was already in the numerical form, but in NLP, we have data in textual form. So somehow we have to convert this textual data to a numerical form so that we can apply the machine learning algos. Okay, so this is the difference between a machine learning algorithm that you have learned, and this is the problem with the NLP. Okay, in NLP, everything is converted into it. Everything is in the form of a textual data. Somehow we have to apply the algorithms or the rules so that somehow we can convert this data into a numerical form, and then we can apply machine learning algorithm. Okay, so the difference between the two is clear to everyone. The classification in machine learning and the classification in NLP is clear to everyone. That what is a major difference in these two is. Okay,
Yeah.
and machine learning algorithm will be same. Okay, machine learning algorithm, so once it's converted to a numerical form, you can apply machine learning algorithm of your choice, anything you can apply. Okay, so machine learning algorithm will never change in NLP also. The only thing is, this is what I've highlighted is the important part. That thing you have to learn. Okay, so this will be covered everything step by step. Okay, but if you are building anything called as classifier, so just try to use a library. Okay, don't try to do everything from a scratch. So basically that's why the libraries are maintained, right? So yes, but to get a basic understanding how this is done, so of course I will teach you everything step by step. So the first step what we'll do is loading the data and create a classifier. Okay, loading a data and create a classifier. So basically what I have is I have generated the data, and in the chat box I have given the data to everyone. Okay, so this is a train data. So in the chat box, please just try to copy paste the data in your shell. Okay, and this is a test data. So this is the same thing I've pasted, what you can see on my screen. And okay. So basically, obviously the data we have to divide into trained and test split, that everyone knows. Okay, because we have to train the data and we have to test the data. Okay, so can anyone tell me why we do a train test split? A basic ML question or basic ML question or interview question. Why we do a train test split?
we
For
build the
teaching,
model with the trained data.
Sorry, can you, the voice was not clear.
We build the model with the trained data and then we test the model with the test data.
Okay, my question is, why not to train the data on train and test the last two variables with the same train data? Why we
Test
have to
data
create
should be
different test
unseen
data?
data.
Sorry.
Test data should be unseen by the model.
Exactly. Okay. So testing is always done on unseen data. Okay. Remember this thing. Testing is always done on unseen data so that our model will be not biased towards something. Okay. So that's why we have a training and a test state. Okay. Now what we have to do is, so I will explain what I've done here. So basically this is a tuple. The first index of the tuple is the text. So I love this sandwich, and I have in the second thing I've written a sentiment or basically classification. Okay, so the sentiment is positive. POS stands for positive. Then this is an amazing place, so positive. Then let's go to negative. I am tired of this stuff. So this is a negative sentiment, right? So basically I've done some of the. So this is a data you can say. So this left part is the dependent and the independent, and this is a dependent variable. Okay, so you can say this is a target column that we have in an ML. So positive, positive, negative, negative, stuff like this. and this is a particular text. Same for text also, I have created some particular text. Okay. So the data is clear to everyone that how the data is mentioned. So basically the data is in the form of a list of tuples, and each tuple has two parameters. Two parameters in the sense two indexes. The first index is the text, and the second index is target variable. And the first one is the text, and the second one is the target variable. Okay, and I'm maintaining the same thing everywhere. So this is clear to everyone. The data is clear to everyone. What I'm trying to do here. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we have to do is now we have to do a classification. Okay. So we have something called as from text block dot classifier import naive Bayes classifier. So I think this algorithm is known to everyone. What is naive Bayes classifier? So basically, I will be using naive Bayes classifier. You can use any algorithm of your choice. Okay, it's up to you whatever you want to use. So basically, I will be using naive Bayes classifier, and the only thing what you have to do is just take a variable CL and just call this particular class, and in the okay, and in the parameter just pass the training data so that we can train our model. That's it. No, Sparsha. So basically what you have to do is suppose if you want to write some text, okay, if you want to import something, so you have to do from text block. Okay, this, so suppose you have forgot the spelling of text block. So what you can do is you can do txt and press tab. So as soon as you press tab, you will get a suggestion that what you want to import. So the two suggestions are text block or text wrap. Okay, and if you do this, now you don't know that what all functions are there in text block. So basically what you can do is you can do dot and again you can press tab. Okay, so you can see different function associated with the text block. So basically this is a feature of Jupyter Notebook. So you don't have to enable something, anything. You have to just press tab, and that's it. So classifier, and when I do import. Now suppose I forgot which algorithm to use. So what you can do is you can do n and tab. That's it. So this will give you naive Bayes classifier and just press enter. Okay. So yes. So inside this, what you have to do is you have to pass the data, that is train. And once you run this particular model is trained now. This particular model is trained. Okay. So the question is then how to classify the model. Okay. So basically this is trained. Now what you can do is we have something called as cl.classify. In this you have to pass the text. Okay. So I am sad basically. So if you run this, the sentiment is negative. So basically it is trying to tell me that now this is what I'm doing is a prediction. Okay. This is the inference of the prediction I'm doing. So how to do a prediction? So first let me write prediction. Yeah, let me write training. Yeah. So this is a prediction that I am doing. The prediction is I am sad and it's trying to give me the answer that you are the particular sentence is a negative sentiment. Okay. I am happy. Okay. So HAPPY. So okay. Okay, let's try to give me I am doing good. So this is a positive sentiment. Okay. Although the accuracy will be not good because the data is not much, because data is very less. So the accuracy will not go. So if you want, you can try at your home. So you can try to increase the data and you can try to increase the accuracy also. So it's up to you. So this is how the classification is done. This is how the classification is done. Okay. So the next question is how to see the accuracy. Okay.
I have a question here.
Yes, Sunil.
So when I'm typing I am good, it is coming out as positive. But when I'm typing I am happy, it is coming out as negative.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So the problem is, can you think about the problem? Can you just give me the wild answer that why that is so? Because because
We are
can
not
you
using happy word in the training data.
in the data
Okay.
anytime did your model saw a happy word?
No.
No.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's why. Okay, so you have to train the data. So this is the meaning
Oh,
of machine learning, right? So you have to train the data so that our model will learn new things. Okay, so if I put something like this, okay, so if in a positive, if I do that, I am very happy. Okay, now if I try to train this, and I'm not saying that it will work. Most probably it should work. So I am happy. So see, now the sentiment is positive.
yes,
Now
it
it's
was.
clear,
Yes.
Sumitra? Yeah,
Yeah. Got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Now the third step is how to evaluate the model, how to know that what is the accuracy of our model. Okay, so we have something called as evaluation of a model, and we have something called as CL lot accuracy, and in this you have to just pass the testing data, that is test, and if you run this, the accuracy is 0.8333 and so on. So this is clear to everyone how to build a
There is
text
no
classification
tuning
system.
or anything like. So there is no tuning or anything like machine algorithm we have to do here.
Tuning in the sense you can do the tuning also. So in the naive bias you can do the tuning, of course. So okay, so by default the naive bias what is giving you the tuning is not allowed here. So yes, so
Okay.
basically it will be tuned to the best possible way that it can be. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
basically if you want to tune, then try to build your own algorithm that we will learn in a use case that will build. Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay.
but you have to build a classification very fast. In within 5 minutes you can use this library.
Cool.
So basically, this
Okay.
will do all the pre-processing on its own. So basically, the function is written behind the scene, and it will try to do a classification. Okay, but if you want to build a very accurate model based on your specific use case, then you have to build. Of course, then you have to build everything from a scratch. But if you want to build a model just to showcase that, okay, I know that NLP and stuff like that, so you can use this particular library, and you can deploy this particular thing on your Flask application also.
Yeah.
Is clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now. So the question is that every time we have to write this, every time we have to write this, if we want to train something, if we want to do something on a specific use case for which we have a CSV file. So the question is, do we have to write this? So we have to copy paste, and uh, add in this particular data? The answer is no. Okay. So suppose if you have a CSV file, the question is if you have a CSV file. So what you have to do is, if you have a CSV file, you have to just download the data. So how you have to do? You have to just do something like this. So can anyone tell me the file operation to open a file?
Data.read CSV.
No. Pandas.csv, no. Here we will use a file operation. So NLP uses the file operation to open a file so that we can give to naive Bayes classifier. Why? Because the data will be in specific format. Okay. So in CSV file, first your data should be in the following format. Okay, the following format is something like this. Okay, so so it is comma separated value. So by this we'll understand, okay, this is one column and this is the other column. So basically your data should be something like this. Okay, and for the negative, let's try to take one. And we have, so your data should be in the following format. Okay, this is mandatory. Okay, this you can't skip. This should be the format of your data. Okay, and then what you have to do is you have to use using the file operation. Okay, using the file operation, you have to open the file. So can anyone tell me how to open a file using a file operation or the file handling part that you have learned in Python?
With open then file name.
So with open, and then the file name, that is abc.csv, for example. Then the mode you want to read. So basically we are reading, though we will not write in a CSV file. We will read from a CSV file, right? So I'm just doing the R mode, that is a read mode, as FP. So I'm giving alias name for the particular variable. So basically what you have to do is you have to do CL equal to, that's it. Okay, you have to do CL the classifier and the same thing. Okay, now inside this you have to pass the particular variable, that is FP. That's it. Okay, and the particular model will be get trained. So this I will remove. Okay, so if you have a CSV file, first of all, your data should be something like this. That what I've written here. The beer was good. This is an amazing place, and I don't like this is a restaurant. So it should be two values separated by comma. And once you have a CSV file generated like this, then you can easily classify the model using the CSV file. So this is clear to everyone? Okay, answer in the chat box, yes or no. The basic text classification system, how to build a text classification system is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the last step what is remaining here is that, okay, now we have done the data. The important step that it is still remaining that, okay, now suppose I have built a machine learning model. So can anyone tell me in real time production, suppose I have built a machine learning algorithm and I have put that machine learning algorithm for a production. So we have to monitor everything, that is of course you have to do. Then after few days we have to do something. What is that? For a ML model we have to do something. What is that?
Retrain.
Yeah, so basically we have to retain the data. Why? Because when I will put this particular model in a production level, so of course I will get a new data from the users. So I will store that particular data and I will try to retain my model again. So Sparsha, no, the answer is no. So this the default parameter that you can see, the default parameter. So by using read CSV, so the default parameter that you can see will not allow to put the files. Okay, so okay, let me clarify. Okay, I don't know whether they have changed the function because this text block they have updated. So maybe the data frame thing will be supported. So let's try to see this. So train set, we have a train set, and let's try to see that what can be train set. The training set either is a list of tuples of the form text or class of a file name, or text may be either string or retrieval. So they have clearly mentioned that, so they have not mentioned about data frame. So I think the data frame is not supported. Okay, Sparsha. Okay, so if the train set is a file name, then the file format, example CSV or JSON, if the none, will attempt to detect the file format. Okay, so okay, let's try to, okay, they have not given anything. So from as far as I know, the data frame is not supported here. So basically you have to go with the file, you have to just directly upload the file and you have to move forward. Okay, Sparsha, I think your query is clear. Okay, now the next question is, you have to update.
Afshan?
Yes.
Afshan,
Yes.
when we retrain the model, then we follow all the steps from the starting,
All the steps from the starting in the sense.
like test, train, test, split.
No. So yeah, it's up to you whether you want to do a train test split. So basically, if you update the model, of course, then you have to do a test split. So yes, you have to do from a scratch. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have something called as updating a model. So this I will just remove. This also I will remove. Okay, so if
Suppose if we are doing it on a scratch data, if it is given, like it's not mandatory that we'll always receive in the form of like sentiments, positive, negative. So if suppose we have a paragraph given, then we have to first split all the sentences and then assign positive, negative by ourselves, right? And then we
yes,
use it for that.
yes. So labeling you should do labeling. So the data that you can see in the machine learning also, that was labeled, right? So in the same way, we have to label this also. If you have your own use case where the data is not provided to you, so of course you have to label the data on your own.
Okay.
So this is the case for all the algorithms, right? In machine learning also, if for a
Yeah.
particular use case, if you don't have something, you have to label the data manually, right? So in this
Yeah.
also, you have to label the manual data, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But there are many tricks that you can do, okay? There are many tricks that you can do. Suppose, for example, you can suppose you want to do a sentiment analysis on a review, on Amazon review. So what was the trick that you can follow there? Just try to think. In Amazon review, you get many things to see, right? So
We'll search
instead,
for the word and then assign.
okay, so search for a word and assign, okay, okay.
We can do clustering, right? We can run clustering algorithms.
We can do clustering, okay.
Based on the number of stars. Okay.
Okay, so this is also a good answer based on number of stars. So basically, instead of doing a hard work, you can do a smart work there. Okay, basically you can do a clustering. So basically, text will be classified into two parts, and from that you will get to know that which one is a positive and which one is negative. So you can label through that. Then we have something called a star based on the star. So you can just tell that okay, if it is three or more, the star is three or more for a particular review, then that review is a positive. Three or less, that review is negative. Okay, so you can write a web scraping code for that, and the data will be generated automatically for you. So my point is clear to you now.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. So if nothing is possible, then of course you have to do a manual work. But if you know coding, and if you know that the tricks that you can apply, then of course go for the tricks. Okay. Yeah. So the next step, what I was going to tell you, that a model, updating a model with new data. If I run this, yeah. So I would, yes,
Afsan,
yes.
here in NLP, like how data is converted into numerical, we wrote, right? In machine learning, data is already in numerical form. In NLP, data is in textual, we have to convert into numerical, then machine
From
learning
the scratch
algorithm.
after completing all the libraries.
Okay.
Sorry.
Afsan, I'm saying ki like we discussed, right? In machine learning, data is already in the numerical form. But in
Yes,
NLP,
yes, yes.
difference is that data is in textual form, we need to convert it to numerical form. So here
Yes,
we are
yes, yes.
loading the data and creating a classifier. So where this step is happening, converting into numerical.
So behind this naive-based classifier, no, so they have built a whole class there, so that when data comes, so everything happen one by one. So first the data will get clean, then the
Okay.
the particular text will be converted to numerical data, and then the training happens. Okay. So don't worry, this is just to give you the demo that if you want to build a classifier in a very fast way, you can use this library. But after completing all the libraries, like we have text block, and after that we have Spacey, and then Stanza. After that, we'll move to a next topic called as conversion of a textual string into a numerical string. From there, I will teach you from scratch that what happens everything behind this from the
Okay.
scratch.
Okay, here
Okay,
naive-based
so we'll,
classifier is automatically doing converting into numerical for
yes,
me.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. So it's necessary to do a conversion from a textual to a numerical. So basically, this naive-based classifier does automatically behind the scene for us.
Okay.
Okay, but all the steps we will do one by one. So don't worry about the what is happening behind the scene, how this is going to be converted. This is just to show you that if you want to build something very fast, you can just use this library directly. Okay.
Okay.
So updating with a new data. So basically, I have a new data here. So everyone just in a chat box, I have given the data. So suppose I have a data. So the only thing what you have to do is you have to do cl. You have to do cl dot update. And inside this update function, you have to give new data. That's it. Okay. And if I run this true means that the model has been trained now. Okay. So if you want to see the accuracy, cl dot accuracy. And if you try to run this, so basically you have to pass something, of course. So test. So okay, great. So somehow the accuracy is 1. Okay, somehow the accuracy is 1. So yes. So this is how you update the data. So the how to build a text classification model using a simple library in TextBlob is clear to everyone. So training, inference, or you can say prediction, then finding the accuracy, then updating a new data with a new data. So this all 4 points are clear to everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the end of the library text block. This is the end of the library called as text block. Okay, so anyone has a doubt, they can ask me right now. Okay, no doubt. So let's move forward. Then the next library that we're going to learn is something called as Spacey.
Afsan, one thing.
Yes.
Like you given this exercise, right? Extract all noun phrases and lematize.
Yeah. Yes.
So when I try to use the functions available in the text block, like noun phrases and all, then I was getting a little bit different result. Like you used a loop, right? For like using tagging and all, right? But
Yes.
yeah, but if we use like noun phrases method, if we use that, then I'm getting different result. Like I was not getting Friday. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you have done. Okay, so okay, you're doing the, if you use noun phrases, then you will not get this particular thing, right? Like Thursday,
Yeah,
Friday, you're not getting.
some words are not there.
Yeah, basically what happens, there is NNP and noun phrases. The meaning of that means that this NNP is try to go deep inside the noun phrases. Means okay, now in English language, noun phrases have so many meanings, right? We can have NNP, we can have proper noun, we have some kind of noun, right?
Okay.
So this is nothing but a proper noun. In noun phrases, it extracts only the important nouns. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so NNP and the noun phrases, the definition of that too is different. Okay, so we have something called as universal tagging, and we have something called as what you can say. So basically, what I mean to say is, in English language, there is one noun. But if you try to break that noun can be break into so many parts, right? Like proper noun, improper noun, and stuff like that.
Yes.
So basically, this NNP is trying to get that. But in the noun phrases, it will try to give the proper universal noun to us.
Yeah, it was not considering like weekdays name,
Yes,
like
yes,
Friday and all.
Yes.
Everything was same except weekdays. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you got my point. What I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. Better to use tag then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to go deep inside the particular, you have to extract all the nouns that are there and go with the tag. If you want to extract the basic noun to get a basic understanding, so you can use
Noun
the
phrases.
noun phrases. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Afsan, I have a question with this update function.
Okay.
Like we are giving like this new data, right? So when I run the c1.update, will it be like running the old train data and this new data together?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is, so if you remember, so for what you do first, suppose in a production level, what do you mean by retaining of the data? So basically, the parameters that is y equal to mx plus c. The m and c is trained for you, right? So this is what you mean by training the data, right?
Yeah.
So m and c is fixed now after training the data. So value of m can be 0.3 and the c will be 0.6, right?
Yeah.
This is what you mean by training the data, right? So your model has been trained. You have to just put the variable. Suppose the variable is 10. So if this is 10, the output is what? 30 plus, so 3.6. So answer that will given by my machine learning algorithm will be 3.6. Yes.
Yeah.
Now what happens in updating is your model will not train from scratch. It will train from this particular parameter only. This is what you mean by updating a model or retaining a model. Getting a point, Lino? So basically, when you do CL, this CL, the parameter was saved. The parameter was suppose 0.3 and 0.6 was saved. Now, when you do updating of a model, your updation or the training of the data will happen from this particular point. This is what you mean by training the data, retaining the data. Now it's clearly what I'm trying to say.
I got the point, but I'm not able to connect it like how it's happening.
Okay. So for that, the retraining concept would be clear to you. So in a machine learning algorithm, have you learned that how retraining everything happens? A general question to everyone.
No.
Okay, it's not explained. So I will give you the glimpse about that. So anyone has the idea that how retraining works behind the scene? Or what do you mean by retraining of a model?
No, when you have a model, so basically your next model, you have to have another one more. You have to create a model with another goal, and you have to compare the experiment with the previous model. So then, if the model is good, then you uh, retain the you go to the new model, or you shift to the new model. Over the period, you have to retrain your model with the data, with the findings of your data.
Yeah. So what that retraining means here? So are you retraining from scratch, or what happens behind this?
No. It will not be retraining from the scratch. Depending upon the trend or observation, you may tweak the model to achieve your goal, or to to work on the hypothesis.
Okay. So basically, I will tell you the mathematical concept, so that you will understand much better. So basically, what happens is, so let me stop the share and let me open my whiteboard here. So can you see my whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens? Suppose this is a linear regression problem. Okay. So where is my pen? Give me a second. Now suppose you are doing a basic linear regression problem. So what is the equation that we try to solve basically in linear regression?
Y equal to
mx plus c, right? Now here we have two things. One is we have something called as variable, and we have something called as weights. So can you tell me which among this variable, which are the weights and which are the variable?
X are our variables.
Okay, x is the variable. Okay, I'm writing v. And what is m and c then?
Weight.
M is the weight and C is the intercept.
Yeah, so basically m is intercept in the form of a graph. Okay, but in this it is called a bias. Okay, so c is bias and m is weight. Okay, sorry.
We can say that both the things together as coefficients, right?
Yeah, coefficients. Yeah, exactly. Okay, you can say this is a coefficient of x. This you can say a coefficient. Yeah, you can say that. Okay, but I'm talking in a machine learning world. This okay. So this is nothing but a weights. In machine learning, there's nothing called a coefficient. There's we call as weights, which is getting trained. Okay, Lino. So what happens is when you try to train something. Okay. So suppose you have something y equal to mx plus c. So what happens is suppose you try to train something. So by default, the m value is 0.1. Okay. The x value is from your data that is trying to give. So suppose the x value is 10 here. And the bias is that it is again 0.1. So what is the value of y? Can you tell me?
1.1.
1.1. But in your target variable, what was the variable? It was suppose, for example, 6.0. For example, okay, 6.0. So what happens next?
We adjust the weights.
How? By using loss functions, right?
Yeah.
By using the loss function, we first try to calculate the loss, and our aim is to reduce this loss function. So in linear regression, the loss function can be something like this: 1 minus c the whole square. So what is the loss here? It is 25, right? Now in the next step, what will happen is the same equation is updated. Now if it's from 0.2, it changes to, for example, 1 into 10 plus 1. Okay, now what is the value of y?
11.
11. So 11 minus 25 is what? Okay, 11 minus not 25, 11 minus 6 is what?
5 square.
5 square. Okay. Now this is also the loss is not increasing neither decreasing, right? So what our ML model tries to do is now it will try to decrease the weights, basically with the help of this what you have learned. What is this? Gradient descent. Yes. So now this value will decrease and this value will decrease, right? So it will go to 0.5 into 10 plus 1. Okay, so what is the value of y now?
1 point.
No,
Six.
so 0.5 into 10 is what? 5,
Six.
right? 5 plus 1, we have 6. Now 6 minus 6 is what?
0.
0. Now my model is perfect, right? Now what happens is this 0.5 and 1 is saved now. Okay, now this is what happens in prediction. Okay, so what happens in prediction? So when you try to do prediction, so equation is saved like this. So it is nothing like, now it is not like mx plus c. Now it is 0.5 into x plus 1. So when you do y dot predict, when you do y dot predict, so what happens is you put a value here, right? You know? So if you put 3 here, so what it happens behind the scene is this 3 is replaced in form of x. So when you do y equal to 0.5 into 3 plus 1, so what is the value of y?
1.5 plus
2.5 basically, right? So this is the value that you can see in y dot predict. After doing y dot prediction, this is the value that you can see. This part is clear to you?
Yes.
What I've explained till now?
Yes.
This is what happens behind the scene. Now, what do you mean by updation is that your model is saved by which parameter? 0.5 into x plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you notice in the initial phase, it started from 0.1, right?
Yeah.
Then after learning it tried to reach there, and this is the best parameter that you have right now. So when you retrain the model, from here only it will start retraining. What I mean to say is, when you train the model, so what you will do y equal to 0.5. Suppose you have a data. For a training, you have a data, right? CSV file data. So suppose now this is 3 plus 1. Okay, so what is output of y? It is again 2.5. But my target variable is what? My variable is 5, for example. So you again find a loss function. You get some loss function, you try to decrease loss function. So this is what you mean by retaining of the data. So the retaining of the data will happen from this parameter. It will not start from scratch. Getting my point?
Yes, got it.
So this is what retaining of data means. So from this parameter only it will start itself. So it will not again start from the starting, so it will not waste your time. So basically it will learn what it has already learned. It will try to learn more from there. It will not try to start from the scratch. So this is known as training of the data, retraining of the data. Now I hope everything is clear to you.
So what function, I mean, what syntax you write to this, like to retrain?
So for retraining, what you do is in machine learning, I don't know whether you have done this or not. In ML, what you do is you train a model. Okay, you find the accuracy. So you have done this class also, right? The deployment class, right?
Yes.
So you know how to save the model, right? So save the model.
Yeah.
Now, when you save the model, then load the model. And after loading the model, so suppose you have loaded the model in variable A. So what you can do is you can do A dot train again. So in A, the parameters are saved, right? So if you do A dot train again with the old parameters, so this is known as retraining.
Okay.
This is in ML. In NLP, what I have done here, we have something called as update. So basically has all the parameters saved here, all the weights saved here. So when I do C1 dot update, so my training will happen. I'm not saying that training will not happen. Training will happen, but from where?
From the existing parameters.
From the existing parameters, exactly. So that is what you mean by retaining of the data. Now it's clear?
Okay, so when I give a model dot train on an existing model, it will be always retraining.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
not
It will always be
from scratch.
retraining. Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So I hope I've cleared you with the help of an example that what retaining means in short.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah.